Hey guys, welcome to my new series, CSI Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. In this series, I'm going to be looking over a bunch of hand histories from um, my 2014 year and analyzing them just to see if I could have played spots differently when completely focused. I also think I might be a better player than I was a year ago, so I'm going to go month by month and look at all the close finishes where I didn't finish in the top 5 of an MTT. We're going to see suckouts, bad beats, bad plays along the way, and just see if we can kind of correct some of the things that, might have impacted my winnings. Okay, so this first tournament is a 215 Turbo that I finished 5th in. So we're going to quickly look over this. I think this is either the final 2 or final 3 table, so we're going to go from there and take a look. The date here says December 31st, 2013. I'm not sure if that date is correct. It might not be. So here Menduzu regular decides to induce with king queen off here. I think this is a poor play. I think he should be shoving. We reshove ace queen. He has ace king. He has king queen, and we win. It's gonna be a standard shove. This is generally gonna be a shove, given ICM. I think that's plus EV. We're just looking for spots I would play differently, outside of the game flow and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of times I'm multi-tabling. I'm definitely playing too many tables in spots like this. Sometimes, although maybe not this one because this might be the late 215. So we're just making sure that we're not playing incorrectly or anything. Everyone seems to be folding, and we're doing a pretty good job of winning a lot of chips. I think this is a fold. I actually want to check my assumption, so we're actually gonna model this. Okay, I can't access ICMizer while I'm playing. I do have 4 tables up here of live play, just so the video doesn't get too dry. But we're just gonna go ahead and mark the hands that are interesting. Although I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a fold. This is gonna be a shove, especially with if this is like 15 left or whatever. It's just gonna be a clear shove. That's a fold. I think there's a okay. So this is probably not a shove because of how short CMI is, so I'm fine with that. We'll just quickly go and mark it. Just take a look. But it can't be too profitable there. Okay, I think there's a clear defend. So yeah, and I think this is fine. And I think the guy's play is pretty bad. So it's a clear shove. This might be the final table. Let me just double check, guys. Okay, so this is the final 18, so that will inform our analysis. Clear shove there. It's all standard folds. Clear shove here. If you can't read the stack counts, 22 bigs here and 16 bigs here. I guess you could try and raise fold or something. It's going to kind of depend on, the stats of Rob Dog and Jay Wins It. Jay Wins It seems to be pretty passive, but I like to just take these abilities out of my opponent's hands and just force them to kind of wake up with a hand. There's a clear call. And we're going to lose to pocket 8s, which is a bit unfortunate. It is a clear shove, but we fold. This is a clear fold. You could raise if you really wanted to, but Lena's a good regular, and I don't expect to be able to get away with that too much. There's obviously a clear call. And bridge will be out here. Okay, so I do apologize. This is actually the final table. Payouts will be 7K to first and 700 to ninth. One sec. Yeah, payouts are just the standard PokerStars structure. So that flip was pretty big. It was pretty big to win here. I notice when I go back in time, I have a lot of these kinds of issues. I'm not sure why their hands aren't showing up. I mean, their stats aren't showing up. Okay, I did resolve the issue. It's because I had it filtered to only show hands older than 8 months. So yeah, we see here after we win this flip, we have 3-7 off on the button, and yeah, Jay wins it. Seems pretty loose. Um, Lena also pretty loose aggressive. So I don't really believe in opening, especially because the stack sizes are kind of similar here. I don't really believe in opening hands like that in a tournament position of that sort. I think it's a clear call. I mean, it's not like we love it, but you know, it's just a clear call. He has like 5 big blinds. We win there, so it's hard to see how we get fifth here. This is kind of interesting, I guess. So Lena here, min raises, just clear fold. King 10 on the button here, clear shove. No other really way to play it, and we lose to ace 9. So I mean, we're running up and down. That was a pretty big flip to lose though. This will be a fold. I might shove if folded to me. I'm pretty sure it's plus EV. So, alright, pocket nines. Alright, and we're gonna go busto here. So, I mean, this guy wins 2 flips versus us and takes us out. So, no mistakes in that hand history. I think that was pretty flawlessly played. So, happy with myself for the first one. Okay, so his next tournament is the Hotter 75. Kind of shows you, I guess, the variance of tournaments and such. Alright guys, so I mean it kind of shows you the variance of tournaments. I would say this is a tournament where first place is like 38,000 or something, and I think we get 11th place in this. So at this point in my Sunday session, I'm definitely playing like 20 tables. So let's take a look at this and just make sure that we're not, playing incorrectly or anything or missing any spots due to multi-tabling. Which I don't really have a problem with that, but you do miss things and stuff, and one of the things I'm working on this year is cutting my table count when I'm deep in big tournaments, which I already have been doing, but to an even greater extent. So good shove by this player and good call by me. Clear shove here. Clear shove here. All standard folds. I think this is a call. I would call if I was playing today. That's a really bad fold. I mean, it's going to depend on how Fish Eater plays. He looks to be playing 42% over 12 hands. I'm not even going to model this spot. I think this is a clear call. So, not too happy with that. And we would have won a huge pot here. Yeah, this hand upsets me. I think this is... Actually, let's go ahead and model. I mean, man, this is a really bad fold. I could have just been playing too many tables and then the table pops up and I'm just like, okay, there's 2 all-ins. Edge passing slash quote unquote whatever without being results oriented. I think this is generally going to be a clear call. I mean, you might want to hesitate with like ace 9 suited and maybe like ace 10 offsuit or something, but so yeah, this would have been a massive pot. We would have won. Would have been up to like 400,000 or so. So already we can kind of see a pretty large mistake. So I'm pretty disgusted by that. Alright, shove queen 8 for sure. I think we can just shove king 10 on this button. This guy limps. I'm fine with just folding instead of limping. This is going to be a shove. Even this is like really close. And if I was in game today, I would ISO here as well. So I think that's 2 clear mistakes in a very fast structure. I think this is generally going to be a defense versus a 20% open. Just really quickly look at the equity. Yeah, I mean 33% I think is fine, whereas a hand like 3-7 off would have more like 29%. So yeah, there is a tangible difference there, I would say. Clear shove here. I don't mind a min-raise fold on this button. I think it's fine. Clear shove here. And I mean, it just kind of makes me a little disgusted that I passed on the ace-jack suited and even the pocket sixes, because those are not good passes at all. I'm not sure what I was thinking even, honestly, other than that they were terrible. I go for a min-raise fold here. I think it is okay. Lord Gregor tends to be a little aggressive. I think this should be a shove. I would shove if I was playing today. So not too happy with this either. And we can just go ahead and mark that one as well. Okay, ace-9 suited, clear shove. Very standard stuff. Multiple tables breaking over and over. Clear fold. I would shove this always. Clear shove here. Now, this guy's only 42-33, so I decided to get this in. I have like 7 big blinds. I think it's fine. I mean, he has king 4 offsuit, so it's even better than fine. Ace 5 off is the fold. Ace jack suited versus a 55-36. I think this is a shove for sure. Pocket 9's obviously a shove. Go in versus pocket 8s. Wow, so we have 600k here, so I'm curious to see what happens at this point, because we look like we're in a pretty good spot overall for this tournament. I think that's a clear fold versus Elmerix. I would have opened there. I mean, if I was playing today. This will be a call. Standard hands by both players. This is a fold. Fold. Okay. 17 bigs with queen 10 suited. I think raise folding here might be fine. CDBR. I mean, I'm fine with the shove as well. I think both plays are okay. The big blind doesn't 3-bet too much. Kloss doesn't 3-bet too much, so I think raise folding might be better here. I hate this fold. I think it's a pretty large mistake. This must be 27 or so left. I hate this fold as well. It's not good. Not good at all. Okay, 8-9. Hate this fold. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. Then we jam 9-10 off and lose versus a7. So overall, I think we made at least 5 minor to significant mistakes in this hand, and we ended up getting 11th. And I think, you know, maybe when you play like this, you kind of deserve to get 11th or something. So not happy with that one at all. That was pretty bad. Alright, so if you're scoring at home, I would give myself a on the 215 turbo, and I would give myself like a C minus D plus in the hot 75. I think a lot of plays are, you know, defensible, like in the name of edge passing and looking for better spots or whatever, but I think the ace jack suited hand is particularly egregious. And in fact, let's go ahead and model them just so we can quantify. Alright, so this first hand we see pocket twos is negative because of the cutoff being so short. Pretty sure if the cutoff was, you know, a little deeper, it would be fine. Actually, I'll just go ahead and save all the ICM ISO work for the end of the episode. This is the big 55. We finish again in the final 2 tables, so we're gonna look at what happened there. So take a look here. I think this is generally a standard open, so looks good to me. Queen jack suited. I think this is also standard open. and it goes through. Looks good. This table, I don't really recognize anyone at this table, so I don't think there's going to be too much resistance, but you don't want to push it too far. I think this is open as well, and we do get 3-bet here by Talk Kenny. Nothing in his stats really indicates to me that he's capable of taking this spot too light, so I'll just fold here. I mean, they definitely can be light, but still. I think 2-9 suited is a fold. Not sure why I'm opening here. Not a fan of this open, really. I am a fan of the c-bet though. Kind of a fan of this double barrel. I think it's okay. I think we could have just avoided this spot, and we fold to a 10k river lead. Yeah, I mean we have blockers here. I mean we could possibly consider jamming here. I think if we do play this hand with our 2 blocker or whatever, it's kind of a randomizer. It's not like a legitimate blocker or whatever, but it's just like a randomizer. Like we have, the stone nut bottom of our range here. It could be a spot where, we might want to bluff. I hate this hand in general. I hate opening. I guess I'm fine with double barreling, but don't really love it. So just hate that hand. Not happy at all. On duty now, opening 47% from middle position. Other hands must be mixed in, but this is a pretty absurd frequency. Even his EP is like kind of wider, so I'll just 3-bet call here. Not a fan of this flat call too much. I think we should be 3-bet calling. I like float, and then we fold to a double barrel. So he probably had a hand or something, but not a fan of how we're playing at all. Is a standard open, we get shoved on, so starting to slide, but sliding through opening like 2-9 suited on the button and stuff. We just jammed this flop here. I think this is fine. Slightly over pot. I mean, not slightly, but not quite double, almost double pot. And he calls king-9 suited, which I think is fine. So we get a bunch of it back. I think this opens a lot better than the 2-9 suited open for kind of obvious reasons. I think we can open here. Yeah, so I mean this was a pretty soft table, so I'm already regretting some of the hands. On duty now seems to be quite active. Maybe at the time I played the ace queen I didn't have reads that he was so active, but I think also in tournaments you can kind of generally take the more aggressive action and try and figure it out later. Like just assume people are too wide and 3-bet ace queen, and if you get 4-bet maybe you can just fold based on like timing and stuff, but generally call, especially like after country reads and stuff. So not really a fan of that ace queen play at all. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So he opens ace 7 here and gets. I have ace 7 here. Don't really like 3-betting hands like this, so I would just fold here. He wins a flip though. Okay, I think this is a clear open. Flop. Second pair. And I think his bet is pretty terrible with pocket 7s. Into like 4 other players. We get lucky to win that pot though. And I think we can definitely try and repair our image a little bit. So I'm fine with that. I'll definitely open here if unopened. I think there's a clear open. There's a clear open. Get hood flatted by Talk Kenny and I fold here. Maybe we can call one, but Talk Kenny seems to be pretty legitimate. So I'm fine with folding here. I think that play is more than fine. Okay, queen 3. So on duty now to at least mind this button in one spot there. Okay, I'm guessing this is final two tables. A lot of the same players mix over, although so Talk Kenny mixes over, David G 77. That's about it. Okay, so just gonna play standardly. I'm gonna open this hand. I think Talk Kenny has shown he's a pretty weak player. I think there's also clear open. I wouldn't really push the 4 or 5 of hearts, although you could definitely argue for opening this as well, but probably not. Just gonna check this down. River Bluff. Not a huge fan. I think we can just check down. And we can gun this spot. Might be a little better behaved because of bet you don't bet on the button who's, you know, good regular friend of mine. Kind of the inspiration behind pausing videos. Okay, so this guy min raises. I think calling here is generally gonna be best, barring reads, and we don't really have reads. The only read we have is that he has a lot of chips and he's min raising small blind, which probably means he's playing too wide. But you know, that's fine. He bets. I think our hand needs protection. I think we get value from worse, so I think we should just raise and call. Shoving, I think, is also an okay play, and we're gonna get coolered. I think this plays fine. You know, just wondering if we should be shoving pre or not. You know, I think it's kind of gonna depend. I guess I'll model the spot, but you know, it's easy to make really large mistakes by shoving too wide and having incorrect assumptions, whereas calling is generally going to never be, I mean, not generally, it's just period never going to be a mistake. And I think given, you know, 12 left or whatever in a pretty big tournament and stuff, I think generally calling is going to be good. So I'm not even going to model this spot because there's no way we know with specifics, you know, how this guy is playing specifically. So so because there's no way to know, there's no point in really making any assumptions about like theoreticals or whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna close this out on that semi-cooler or whatever, and just call that for the big 55. So we get, I think, 13th in this one. Alright, so I'm really disappointed in both of those hand histories. Those recent ones, I think they're pretty poor. I would give myself like a C minus or something in that big 55. So yeah. Okay, so this is the 320. I'm pretty sure this is 320 Super KO. So we'll look at that. Table count's getting a bit high, so we might have to put this on pause soon. Alright guys, we're continuing along. It's pretty interesting actually. Stars has actually crashed right now, and they're restarting servers. I've never seen this an unscheduled restart. Maybe I haven't been on enough or whatever, but they're going down for like 45 minutes. The end of days is near, the apocalypse, and the seventh sign, etc. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this. So I think Stars is gonna do like a restart or whatever. So I'm kind of taking my sweet time because I think in 12 minutes the prize pool is gonna get broken up and stuff. So it's really interesting, like ICM wise and stuff. Um, yeah, it's really interesting actually. Okay, so this is supersonic. So I finish deep, but not deep enough. So we're gonna take a look at this one as well. Ace 5 diamonds here. I would generally open this if I was playing today. This Guiga guy seems pretty insane over a small sample. So not really sure. I'm gonna call. I don't really think he's been bluffing a ton. I guess I'll just fold here, whatever. It's not like ace high is not anywhere near the top of my range, so. Okay, 7-8 clear shove. Ace 10 off. Think this plays better. I mean, I think this plays best as a shove. Doing 9 suited. Generally gonna be a fold versus like everybody who min raises or whatever. Best played as a shove, I feel like. So I mean, yeah, the ICM really adds like interesting dynamics to stuff. So yeah, clear shove with pocket nines. In this spot here, I think there's a shove as well. Effective stacks are like everybody's shorter, so it's not really like you're getting in, you know, 12, 13 bigs or whatever. But people generally don't call correctly anyways, so I think this is pretty much fist pump. Shove. Shove here, despite the big blind being all in. Shove here. Actually, no, don't shove here. You can min raise here. I would min raise, depending on how this Mark's playing. With this table lineup and these combined 3 bets, I would min raise. Random order here, decided to double barrel 7-9 of clubs. I think that's a fine double barrel. Um, 2-10 off, clear full. This is a clear shove. Clear fold, all folds. I want to try and min raise through Shy, Hulud, and Burrs. I think they're really good. I think you can make an argument for shoving here. It would be interesting to model, I guess. I'm not gonna do it because it's a hyper turbo, so it's not as applicable to you guys because I'm not sure if you guys are always grinding hypers. I'm guessing we're close to the money here, judging by the way I might have shoved a6 off back then, so I'm not sure. This is a clear shove. Clear shove. You can see how just one shove picks up so many chips. There's 6k in the middle. So these hyper turbos are pretty absurd. Clear shove. These are folds if I don't say anything. It's a clear call. Get walked though. Clear shove. Not so clear. I think this one kind of depends on how people play it, but it doesn't fold to us anyway, so whatever. Again, this one's not so clear. I think you can get this in versus weaker players. Maybe versus this lineup, you can try getting this one through. I don't think it's gonna be equal. I think it's gonna be like very close in terms of equilibrium type deals. Chop this. Actually, we don't chop this. Okay, so now we're on life support. It's clear call versus everybody. Nice win there. Ace 10, clear shove. We'll see what happens in this hand actually. Yeah, so it's clear. And get lucky here as well. CZ decides to get, yeah, it is a mandatory get in with 3-9 off, so he played that spot correctly. Clear shove on the button here. Clear fold, clear shove. Gonna run this one. So you see everyone getting short. No one really has a choice about anything to do. Steve mandatory. Elia a bit light, but he only has 3 big blinds. I think this is a bit light by Elia. I think once Drow Ranger gets in, and then I get in, and then Steve gets in, I think this is pretty marginal spot there. We're gonna lose. Clear get in here. Gonna win. Clear fold. Clear everything. Clear get in here. We might bust out here. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. So 37th. Maybe would have liked to see a little more stalling to try and get to 36, but that was flawlessly played as well. So congratulations to me, I guess. Alright guys, next tournament, this is a 215 turbo where we got 9th place. So we want to look at this one. Make sure there's no misplays or anything. Clear fold. Clear fold. I would never open here. I think this is really bad. Unless it's like near the money or something or near a pay jump, but I think this open is not good at all. So, not a fan of that. Definitely looks like I could stand to clean up some of my ranges in the past. Maybe call here. I'm not really sure if it's folded. Okay. I think that open size is fine. Fold queen 3. Clear open here. I have a lot of chips, which is good. I think this is a clear open. Face 8. I think this should be a shove. You could try stopping going if you think it'll work. Doesn't work too often, and sometimes you get kind of scared and make like mistakes or whatever. If the flop comes like ace king x and you have like 6-7 suited, you're kind of scared. So maybe you should just run it. It's a clear open. Don't like this fold unless there's some kind of ICM dynamics or whatever. Generally never folding there. Again, here I think this is a defensible open. I think the ace-5 suited is a better spot, but that's also an open. This is a clear call. Can't do much on that flop. I would generally limp here. Queen 7 off of it. Just in my limping strategy, I don't limp quite as wide as I did before, but I do limp hands that play decently. I think there's also an open. This table doesn't seem to be too aggressive, so I would push it for sure. And we're chipping down because of how weak we were playing. This guy bets really small. I think we could check raise induce here. It seems pretty weak to me. I think calling's also fine. I think shoving's generally not the best option. I think this is probably the worst play you can make. I like check raise. I like call. I don't like shove. So pretty weak. I also think his bet's generally gonna be pretty damn weak when he does that kind of sizing. This close, it's kind of a break-even-ish shove. I think you can gun it if you want to. In fact, let's model it because all our stars tables are turned off. I kind of want to look at it for my own interest sakes anyways. Also, we see the blinds seem to be going up quite a bit. I would fold this if I was playing in today's game. I'm gonna mark it just in case. So this is kind of like a way for me to review as well. Clear shove. Fish limps though, so that doesn't work out. I think it's a great stop and go spot. I decided to squeeze because I've picked up on the fact that Sligo is a huge fish. I think this is fine. We flop a set. Run good. Must be nice, etc. Fold 4-6. You could probably shove 6-9 suited here, but this guy's pretty loose, so I'll fold here. This is a clear shove. But Hello Toddy takes her spot. He has a ton of chips, by the way. And then we're going to shove here for 8 bigs. Get it in versus pocket 7s and lose a flip. But we end up, there's 10 left here, I guess, and we end up getting 9th. So I guess that's okay. But we never actually get to see the final table. So with that said, this is going to be the intermission point, so we're going to load up a bunch of hands on ICMizer and look through them. Alright, so I will say before we get into this stuff that this is the best way to get better at tournament poker, particularly turbos. So if you're not doing reviews like this, I would definitely recommend doing it. In my experience as coaching, I've run into tons of players who've never run any of these calcs in their life, and they're just getting by on like pure instinct and stuff, and I don't think that's like a very good approach. So if you remember, this hand is a 215 turbo where multiple players got it in, and we're just seeing if this is anywhere close. So this ISO is generally going to net a big blind versus Nash ranges. Keep in mind we are ICM'd with 3 tables left, which I think is going to impact everyone's ranges. Assuming this guy is shoving properly, I don't think this guy's ISOing quite as wide as like Queen 9 suited, of course not. So I'm going to cut out some of the weakest hands in his range. And if we do something like that, then so stars is down right now, by the way, and all the tournaments are canceled. We see King Jack off is, I mean, you know, generally in a spot where you're facing multiple all-ins for a good chunk of your stack, I think this is going to be a fold. And we probably want to look at hands like, ace 10 off seems like a good starting point. So if we put in ace 10 off, then we're going to see, yeah, I mean, this range seems pretty reasonable. Even like fives, ace 9 suited, king queen suited seems pretty reasonable. Even king queen off, fours looks a bit light to be calling here. Ace 8 suited looks a little light. So maybe we want to stop at a range of like, something like this seems fine to me. Okay. Generally, if anyone's deviating by being tighter than Nash, which a lot of people are in spots because they haven't studied the math properly, and it's not their fault or whatever, it's just the way life works, then, like, you really can't do anything about it, and you don't want to make, like, really large mistakes. Okay, the pocket twos hand, this is obviously a really standard fold. Assuming the cutoff's a little deeper, let's see what happens to the math. So now twos is like kind of break even. I probably still wouldn't take the spot unless everyone was ICM cuffed. Generally in spots like this, people call tighter than they should versus like big shoves or whatever. So I like to take advantage of that. Okay, this is an ace jack suited hand in the hotter 75, which we blew pretty big. So this this call versus Nash ranges nets more than 4 big blinds. This button was definitely on the wider side, so I'm not going to really take too many hands outside of his Nash range. I mean, I might because we're like pretty deep. So for fun, let's just take out, some of the wider hands or whatever. And I think this is a more reasonable range. And ace jack suited still nets over 3 big blinds versus that range. So this was just a huge mistake, and I am really sad. So I haven't, pre-reviewed any of these hand histories, so looking over this stuff like this, and the big 55 as well, which I think I played pretty poorly. Just very disappointing. Very disappointing. Ace 3 off here is more than break even, so I think this should just be a shove. If you recall, I race folded this hand, and I think this should just be a shove. So not happy with that, especially for versus Lord Gregor, who's a tough, aggressive regular. This is a 215 turbo where I'm looking if I should shove if it folds to me, and I should. So generally gonna shove kind of a Nash range, blind versus blind, which would be like this, which is fine. And then 3-4 suited. I'm seeing if I shove here. Generally, I think this is not a shove, but you can do it versus people who are like tighter. So yeah, it's gonna be like negative 570. I think appropriate hands to take to battle in this spot would be anything at like negative ante or so. So I think you can shove any of these hands and be happy with them. Maybe not queen 4 suited. So maybe we'll draw the line at like, I don't know, 6-10 suited because it just feels prettier or something, even though they're like the same. So I think you can deviate just a little bit. With that said, we'll get to the next batch of hand histories. Alright guys, next up we have the 320 Super KO. We get 20th in this tournament, so we'll take a look at this one. Looks like I have a ton of chips, which is great. Standard defense with queen 10 off, standard fold. I think we can open here. It is a bit light though. Okay, I think there's a clear open. I think we can 3-bet here. It's a bit thin, given this guy's not that loose, but I think it's okay. I don't love it though. We'll probably pass in game today. Okay, standard spot to c-bet small. Moves to queen 9. So we're on a bit of a slow burn downwards, but it's fine. I think there's a clear open. I mean, not clear actually. On command moves over. 020 looks pretty loose. This guy looks pretty loose, competent. I'm pretty sure Asian Cutie's pretty good. Missed the man seems to be playing a good small blind, so I'm fine with folding there. I think this should generally be a fold or a 3-bet. So I'm glad I folded there. I think there's a clear open. So yeah, I mean, just like that, we went from 90 to 70 through no fault of our own, really. Looks like that 3-bet worked versus Daniel. I think there's a clear defense here. So it looks like I was a little less inclined to defend wide back in the day. I think this is a clear defend. I would defend all the time here. I don't think it's like a huge mistake. I just think it's, you know, probably more of a defense than not. I think opening here is fine. Queen 8 of hearts. This is fine. Just picked up on the fact that 4-bet me now has been really loose. I think it's fine. Chip up a little bit. Fine with folding here. Fine with folding here. I would open here. I think this is a good open. Get hood flatted. Have to fold. Clear call. Hate this check raise. I would check call if I was playing today. Not a fan of that at all. Clear open. Looks good. I would defend this if I was playing today. A lot better than 3-4 off. I think opening here is fine, but I'm guessing 2-ton would be looking for a spot to reshove at this point, so staying out of the way seems fine. Okay, I like 3-betting here. Win versus ace jack. I like opening here, although maybe not. It's fine not to. Clear open. I don't mind folding here. I think opening here is decent though. Just clear defend. A lot of 3-betting going around here, so it's basically everybody's 3-betting. Sixes. I think it's a fold. 5-8 suited. Clear defense. I'll raise fold here. Yep, looks good. Kings. I would call here a lot if I was playing today. This guy's been pretty wide. I would call here though. So I think calling's just a little bit better. Opening here is okay, but I'm fine with folding. We're up to like 65 bigs though, so it's not too bad to open. Ace 5, clear open. I'll just check this back if I was playing today. Just go for a delayed c-bet or just give up entirely. Dennis flats here. I think there's a clear fold. See what they check down. Guessing he had a hand. Clear defense here. Shove here. I would never shove if I was playing today. I don't like it at all. I would either raise fold or just open fold, so I hate that play. And lose to kings. So yeah, not a fan of that at all. And it's really going to impact my tournament, it looks like. I think calling here is okay. It's not the greatest. Dennis seems to be playing pretty erratic / bad. I think this is a call here. Yeah, it looks good. I think we can float versus that sizing, and then we fold to the double. Well played, I would say. Clear jam. Really hate that 4-8 off shove. Not being results oriented either, because I didn't remember the results, but just not a fan. I think there's a clear PO versus that sizing. Don't like this lead at all. If I was playing today, I would just check, and then I'd probably check shove, so I would have lost on this hand anyways. Yeah, not much to say. I mean, I would probably check shove this turn because I have enough draws and stuff. I hate this lead. It's not a good lead for your range. You should be check calling to protect all your weak ace-x that are vulnerable to triple barrels here. You could check raise because you would check raise draws and the SPR is getting kind of small. So yeah, I really hate this 4-8 hand. And overall, I think this was decent, but that one mistake was pretty big. So I'm not a fan of that too much. I'm going to close with one last turn. Okay, so here's a big 109. We're going to finish 9th in this tournament, so we want to take a look at it. I think ace-9 off is fine as a shove here. We're shoving into 2 stacks, we cover, and then a very aggressive, very loose big blind. I think opening here is good. We get 3-bet. If I was playing today, I would probably call here. So I think calling is marginally better than folding. I think opening here is fine. Gets open in front of us. I think opening here is mandatory. Decided to call here. I think calling the Jack-10 suit is generally better than calling that. This guy seems to be quite annoying. Probably calling the Queen-6 offline versus blind. Shoving Jack-9, shoving 2s. So I shove here over careless. I think it was a bit thin, not too great. Wouldn't really do that if I was playing today, but we won, which is good. Clear defense. Seems fine. I hate his bet. I think he should just check down. I only like his bet if he's planning on bluffing river. Clear reshove. Clear open. Clear open. Think we can fold here for sure. I hate this open. Not a fan of that open at all. Think we can open here, but probably a fold. And I'm gonna guess this is final 2 tables. Also, it looks like we jump ahead. There's some glitches with the hand history and stuff, so yeah, but it looks like I get to this table with about 20 bigs. Ace-6, think we can go for a raise fold. These are all just standard folds. Ace-King. I'm gonna flip. 8-9 suited, clear defense. Hate this. I think this is terrible. I would always check call here. Hate this play a lot. I think jamming here is generally a better play than inducing. I might have just been spiting it. I don't know. I think jamming's better though for sure. Limping here is okay. I would definitely double barrel turn. I think not double barreling is bad. I think raising here is okay as well, but you can definitely fold. These guys seem pretty hyper aggressive. So I think I'm just adjusting for the fact that they seem to be hyper aggressive. I think defending Jack 3 here is fine. Yeah, we're gonna lose. I think this 5's hand was probably a clear mistake. I think we should just be jamming. Doesn't play that well out of position either. I think jamming here is okay. Plus EV. 2-6 suited. Think we can fold here. I mean, these guys are all like pretty much monkeys. I don't really like the way I've played this tournament so far. I don't really like the way I shove the 5s, and hate that shove. I think I'm just playing really spewy and like kind of out of control here. Jamming this button seems optimal. Okay, and then we're playing versus a 46-38. Shoving here is okay. If I was playing today, I would like pretty much always call from the big blind. So don't really like putting his hand into my shoving range. We don't have enough reads on him and stuff. He's gonna call with king queen and we're gonna bust here. So I think there's a few themes to this video. I think in January I was just coming off like maybe 100k in profits from the past like 2 months, 3 months. So I think this is definitely a kind of cockier version of me that hasn't really been working on his game. Thinks he has more money than a lot of mid-stakes regulars, so just gonna, play kind of like a monkey and like try and overly attack, people who are too tight or too loose. I think I don't have a very good post flop plan for a lot of hands. I think I don't have as strong an understanding now, so it's a bit saddening for me to look back at these hand histories because I think there's a lot of missed spots. I think there's a lot of ways I could have played better if I had focused more and paid more attention. I think a lot of times when you bust a tournament, you think of like how bad you ran on the last flip or whatever, or how you can never win flips. We can see in like almost all these tournaments, except for the turbos, there's like, a significant error here or there that like leads to, a loss of equity. And if I had just played a bit better, I mean, it's hard to beat yourself up too much too, especially if you've been like a successful player. But I think if I had just taken a little more care and just paid a little more attention, I would have done a little better in the month of January. So anyways, yeah, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro reminiscing about tournaments past. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. It's a bit of a change of pace. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.